And now it's time for another St. Louis 7 following a Overtime with Oliver episode. Should we say, is it Guy Phillips or Guy Phillips?
You can call me either. Doesn't matter. Just good publicity, please.
Had a good time. Talked about growing up. Talked about New Mexico. Talked about KSLQ. Promoted a couple of the charities. I want to talk real quick. Talk to me again about Alive.
Alive is Alternatives to Living in Violent Environments. That's the acronym Alive. And it's all about helping generally women, but some men, women and children, find a safe haven when they're in an abusive relationship.
All right. St. Louis 7 always starts with the obvious, and you've got a different answer than most. Guy, where'd you go to high school and what do you remember?
Oh, man. I went to high school at Highland Park High School. We were the Little Giants. What I remember is that I remember a lot of things from high school. I liked high school, but I wasn't a very good student. But I do remember I joined the radio club when I was a junior. Now, I was a guy that liked to play sports, and the radio club were a bunch of nerds and geeks. But I joined the radio club because we had a radio station at our high school. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. But we did. And after a day or maybe two, I realized there are some really weird people in this radio world. And so I quit. I got out. And then when I got into real radio, I realized, my assessment was woefully underdeveloped. There are incredibly strange people in this business.
If you had to vote, what is the best TV kids show in St. Louis history?
I would say I can't vote for me.
I've never can.
I would not vote for DB's Delight, but I guess I would vote for Cookie and the Captain and the Clown or whatever. I wasn't here. Bowling for Dollars. No, wait. I don't know. Whatever kid show, somebody by the name of Harry.
I'm just saying you got to Google DB's Delight and check out the master, the MC, Guy Phillips.
I had a 34-inch waist. I had some really bad sweaters, and my eyesight was real wacky.
You wore sweaters before Cosby wore sweaters.
I did.
When you go to Ted Drew's, what do you order?
Oh, baby, I love the pistachio concrete. It's green. It's light green, so it's really kind of ugly. It's not even, doesn't look like it should be consumed. It looks more like spackle, but that's my favorite.
After you spend 4 decades waking up at 3:16 in the morning, when do you get up now?
Whenever the hell I want. And I love it.
I didn't ask you this in the podcast, but it was a stupid thought. That first morning you're able to have breakfast. Do you remember, was it a deal? Did you have this elaborate breakfast planned out for your first time?
It's an interesting question that you asked that, because for Christmas, my wife had given me a gift certificate in my stocking, or a gift card to Denny's. I know it sounds crazy, but I like a Denny's breakfast. They give you a lot of food. Yeah, it's not real good for you, but hey, that never stopped me from eating. And that Grand Slam Slugger, I got to tell you, at $8.99, you get the juice and the coffee included. Oh, best deal in St. Lou. Not the best breakfast, but the best deal. So I did. I ate at Denny's. I ate alone. Took the paper, and it was something. It was almost orgasmic.
Well, I'll just leave it there.
Please do.
You encounter 10 stop signs. How many do you roll?
All of them.
Well, you should. Got folks to come and visit. Where do you take them?
When they come and visit, I like to show St. Louis off. I do. I take them downtown St. Louis, and I drive them by as many things as I can remember. And I also take them, I actually kind of take them through all kinds of parts, because I think, you need to see the good and the bad. But, I'll take them past the brewery. Hopefully they're brewing so you can get that yeast Oh, that's good stuff. And certainly the stadium and the arch grounds and so on and so forth. But there's so many things to see. I'll take him to the Grove. I'll take him down to the Botanical Garden, Tower Grove Park, Forest Park. I think people are impressed when they drive around St. Louis.
So we're wrapping up with St. Louis Radio Hall of Famer Guy Phillips, probably on the Mount Rushmore of St. Louis radio, if you needed to get down to it. Last question that we ask everybody is, your good side's the other side, I think.
Oh.
What makes you proud to be a St. Louisan guy?
What makes me proud to be a St. Louisan? I think because I've done a lot of charitable work here, the giving nature of the people that live in St. Louis. And man, I wish that was applicable to a whole scope of things here. People, as I mentioned several times during our interview, that people love to help people who are downtrodden, who are hurting, and yet we don't look at that on an inside basis. You know, it's if there's a physical ailment, if there's a need, people jump at it. But when people suffer inside, we're not as willing to be helpful. So I'm proud of what we can do, and I'm a little, reluctant to say the pride's there when it's, maybe the racial thing. We should try and overcome that.
Very good, man. Appreciate the time. Enjoy your retirement.
Pleasure. Thank you, David. Thank you very much for having me on the show. As always, anytime you need anything, call your friends.
Take care, man.
See ya.